Our next talk of the day is helping you understand treatment with Endspring. Please feel free to head over to Genentech's booth over the course of the symposium we have today and tomorrow to learn more. And now I'm joined by Jason Kohari, Marketing Director, MS and NMO at Genentech. Jason, over to you.
Thanks, Roberta. Hi, everyone. I appreciate your time today. And thanks for the opportunity to share information with you about Endspring, or satralizumab, a treatment for neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder, or NMOSD, or NMO for short, in adults who are aquaportin 4 antibody positive, or AQP4 positive. I'm going to spend a few minutes sharing how it works, the clinical data, how to take it, and our patient support programs. I'll review important safety information throughout the presentation, and of course, you're welcome to review the full prescribing information, medication guide, and then the instructions for use at enspryng.com. That's Endspring, E-N-S-P-R-Y-N-G. Spring with a Y and then add on E-N. It's not known if Endspring is safe and effective in children. It's currently approved for adults, and you shouldn't take it if you're allergic to any of the ingredients in Endspring, if you have an active Hep B infection, or if you have active or latent TB. As I mentioned, we'll review how Endspring works, how it was studied, how to take it, and then the support options available to you to make sure that once prescribed, you're able to start and stay on Endspring. So it's approved for adult patients who are AQP4 positive and NMO. And Endspring is thought to affect a protein in our bodies called interleukin-6, or IL-6. And it's the first treatment designed to block that protein, which is made by our immune cells in the body, and that may play a key role in the inflammation that occurs in people with NMO. Endspring may cause serious infections, which can be life-threatening, so talk to your healthcare provider if you're being treated for an infection, and call them right away if you think you have signs of infection, with or without a fever, like chills, aches, tenderness, or belly pain. Endspring is designed to block the action of the IL-6 protein, which is believed to play a part in NMO. And with Endspring, the IL-6 protein is blocked from connecting to the surface of the cell, which prevents the activation of that cell, and then that may impact the resulting downstream inflammation and immune response in your body. So now let's review the clinical trial results of Endspring. So Endspring was studied in 2 clinical trials, Endspring alone versus placebo, and then Endspring plus certain immunosuppressive therapies, or ISTs. And those were conducted to prove that Endspring alone, or Endspring plus IST, can lower the risk of relapse in patients with NMO. And before starting Endspring, your HCP or healthcare provider will check if you have an infection and treat it if needed, including a test for hepatitis or TB. Endspring was the only NMO therapy studied in and proven in 2 clinical trials, which represented a diverse group of people around the world from different countries, different ages, genders, AQP4 antibody status, and disease severity. And based on the clinical trials and the FDA approval, Endspring is appropriate for those adults with NMO who are AQP4 positive. All required vaccinations should be completed before you start Endspring, and depending on that type of vaccination, it should be given at least 2 or 4 weeks before you start treatment, and talk to your healthcare provider and refer to the med guide, the prescribing information for more details. So study 1 of the 2 was Endspring alone versus placebo, and included 95 total patients who were randomly chosen to take Endspring or placebo. Some took Endspring, and some of those were AQP4 positive, and some received placebo, and some of those were AQP4 positive. Your HCP will order a blood test to check your liver enzymes before and while you're taking Endspring, and will tell you how often those tests need to be taken, and if you need to wait to start Endspring depending upon those tests. In study 1, Endspring versus placebo, it met the main study goal by reducing the risk of relapse and resulted in more AQP4 positive adult patients who were relapse-free at 2 years. Endspring significantly reduced the risk of relapse by 74% versus placebo. And then at that 96-week or 2-year period, more patients were relapse-free with Endspring, 77% in fact, versus those on placebo, 41% of those patients. Endspring can cause a decrease in neutrophil counts in your blood, which are the white blood cells that help the body fight off infections, and your healthcare provider will order those tests to check while you're taking Endspring. Study 2 compared Endspring plus certain immunosuppressive therapies, or ISTs, such as azathioprine, mycophenolate, and oral steroids, versus placebo in ISTs. 76 patients were enrolled in this study, randomly chosen to take Endspring and IST or placebo plus IST. And again, some of those actually took the treatment versus placebo, and some of those were AQP4 positive. Serious allergic reactions can be life-threatening and have happened with other medicines like Endspring. So talk to your healthcare provider if you've had rash, hives, or flushing after your injection before or after you take your next dose. And again, in study 2, Endspring met the main study goal by reducing the risk of relapse and resulted in more AQP4 adult patients who were relapse-free at 2 years. And for those adult patients on Endspring plus IST, Endspring significantly reduced the risk of relapse by 78% versus placebo. And then more patients were relapse-free at 2 years with Endspring plus IST, 91% of them, in fact, versus placebo and IST, and that's 51%. And seek medical attention right away if you have any symptoms of a serious allergic reaction like those listed here on the slide. Okay, now that I've given you a very quick overview of our clinical trial data, let's discuss how to actually take Endspring. Endspring can be self-administered either at home or elsewhere with proper training, and provided your healthcare provider says it's okay, you or your caregiver or somebody in your home can administer Endspring. It's supplied in a single-use prefilled syringe shown on the screen there. It's typically sent directly to you at home from your specialty pharmacy. And there's more information about injecting, including a training video at our website, enspring.com. And before you take Endspring, make sure your healthcare provider knows about all of your medical conditions, including infections, liver problems, Hep B, if you've been exposed to somebody with TB, or if you've recently received a vaccine or are planning on receiving one. So once you've been prescribed Endspring, during the first 4 weeks, you'll have 3 starting doses 2 weeks apart. And then after those 3 starting doses in the first 4 weeks, your ongoing dose will be once every 4 weeks. Each dose is just 1 injection or 1 prefilled syringe. So after your starting doses, you'll self-inject Endspring once a month. And as I mentioned in the last slide, before you take Endspring, make sure your healthcare provider knows about all of your medical conditions, including some of those listed here. So you'll keep Endspring in the fridge in the original box that it arrives in to protect it from light. Don't freeze or shake it. And Endspring can be given in the comfort of your own home, or if you're traveling. If it's unopened, it can actually be removed from the refrigerator for a total time of up to 8 days, as long as the temperature doesn't get above 86 degrees. Before you take Endspring, make sure your healthcare provider knows if you're pregnant, think that you're pregnant, or might plan on or becoming pregnant, and it's not known if Endspring will affect your unborn baby. Okay, so we reviewed Endspring trial results, the fact that it is a self-administered once monthly treatment you can take on the go. And it is just as important that once prescribed, you're able to actually start and stay on Endspring. So let's discuss the support options available to you and those who are on Endspring. So our Access Solutions team is able to provide answers and support to you once you and your healthcare provider have determined that Endspring is right for you. While we can't guarantee what your healthcare plan will cover, we'll work with you and your healthcare provider to make sure that the correct paperwork is completed and submitted. We offer a number of services, including a dedicated patient navigator who can answer your questions and will be your personal guide and single point of contact throughout your entire Endspring treatment journey. We offer extra or supplemental injection training and financial assistance to help you pay for Endspring. And if you're breastfeeding or planning to breastfeed, talk to your healthcare provider. It's not known if Endspring passes into your breast milk. So you can call 844-ENSPRYNG or 844-677-7964 to be connected directly with a patient navigator. They'll work with you and your healthcare provider's office, your health insurance, your specialty pharmacy to make sure you get your medicine, explain how your insurance can cover Endspring, help you find financial assistance options, including the copay program if you're eligible, answer your questions, and connect you to a clinical education manager if you'd like to meet with someone one-to-one in person or online for some extra injection training. The most common side effects of Endspring include sore throat, runny nose, upper respiratory tract infection, rash, nausea, fatigue, and the others listed here. So at Genentech, we're committed to helping you get and pay for Endspring. Your patient navigator can help you find those assistance options depending upon the type of insurance that you have, including the copay program, independent copay assistance foundations, or the Genentech Patient Foundation. Each of these options depends on the type of health insurance that you have and other requirements and details. Your patient navigator will explain them to you, work with you and your healthcare provider to determine the best options available to you based on your situation. I didn't list all the possible side effects of Endspring, but talk to your healthcare provider, and you can also report side effects to the FDA. So if you'd like extra injection training support after it's been explained to you by a healthcare provider, or you just need a reminder or a refresher or someone to explain it to you, we do have clinical education managers available to set up a free one-to-one training session with you as many times as you need it. While they won't inject you and can't provide medical advice, they will walk you through the injection training process and answer any questions you may have about injecting the product or a little bit more about NMO. And you can call, again, 844-ENSPRYNG or our phone number to learn more. And of course, you can report any side effects or issues to Genentech. And you can also go online to our website at enspring.com, or again, call 844-677-7964. And I've reviewed the key and important safety information throughout this presentation. Again, you can find that information at enspring.com. And I appreciate the opportunity to provide a quick overview of Endspring, a treatment for NMO for patients who are positive for AQP4. Thank you very much. And again, for more information, go to enspring.com or call 844-ENSPRYNG. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jason, for your time. We appreciate it.